Hey guys, the reviewer here, starting off season 13 of the reviewer with a review of Hilda. And as you can tell, I'm sort of dressed like David because I felt this would be appropriate. I didn't have time, I wouldn't really feel like doing a Hilda cosplay because that'd be kind of a little weird unless I did a gender bit version. But anyway, besides the point. So if you're seeing this video, you're coming towards the end of my Hilda panel that I'm doing at Avalon Expo 6 Virtual. And let's just say I love getting to do this. I love getting to do this. Just doing a panel about Hilda means the world to me because this show means so much to me. Like I I actually never heard of the graphic novels that this show is based off of because when it came out back in 2018, I was getting lots of recommendations from people saying, "Hey, you should watch Hilda on Netflix. It's really good." So I was like, "All right, I'll give it a try." I mean, I'm up for anything. And what I discovered was one of the best animated shows I've seen in my life. I mean, like, I'm a big fan of Gravity Falls, and I've seen some people try to say that Hilda is nothing like Gravity Falls. I would strongly argue against that. I think it's very similar tone wise. Like it's not like point for point of Gravity Falls, but it's up there. Anyway, so Hilda is a British Canadian animated series like starring Bella Ramsey as voicing the title role of Hilda. And I love Bella Ramsey as an actress. She's really good at Game of Thrones. I was so bummed that she was only in a few episodes of the show because her role was really good in it. And the thing is, like, I could see this being one of those things of when it comes to animated shows, people have that problem. There's always that problem of like you're worried of like, oh no, the actress is gonna get older and her voice is gonna change. She's 16, I think, now at the moment, so I don't think. I think we're probably out. It's more than likely probably out of the territory of her voice is gonna change. So anyway, like it's about an 11-year-old girl who lives in the city of Trollberg after her house gets crushed by a giant by mistake at, at the end of the second episode. And the thing that works so well with this show, one is the animation. The animation in Hilda is gorgeous. Like every frame of the show looks beautiful. And it has a very Miyazaki feel with the colors. Now, you might be wondering what I mean by that. And if you've ever seen some of Hayao Miyazaki's films, you'll notice that they tend to have like a blue color to them, sometimes with the background and the color and the scheme. And there are a lot of scenes in Hilda that really do feel like something out of Miyazaki. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I love Hayao Miyazaki. And anyway, like, you have Bella Ramsey voicing the main character, and she does a phenomenal job as the character. Like, if you don't fall in love with her as Hilda, there's something you might be broken because her performance as Hilda is really well done. Like the level of enthusiasm and love she puts into the character is very well done. She voices the character perfectly. And you also have Miss Heidecker. Now, that name may not sound familiar to some people, but it's one of those names I'd say if you were to look up his IMDb, you'd be like, oh, hey, I liked him in this thing and that thing. And he is really good as Alpha, her elf companion that comes along with her journey to journal what the human world is like for the world of the elves. And Alpha is one of the nicest like characters. Like he's just so nice, very smart, loves paperwork. Like that's a thing they established very quickly is that elves have a thing for paperwork, which is kind of fun. There's something kind of funny to me about that. I don't know exactly what, but there's something funny about that to me. And you have Daisy Haggard voicing Hilda's mother Joanna, and Joanna is one of the nicest mothers I've seen in an animated show. And the thing is, they did a bit of a personality change for her in the show, because if you've read the graphic novels, you'll know like Joanna is a lot more strict in the book. She's still a likable character. She's a really good mother in the books, but like there's a level of like she's really kind of strict in the graphic novels, and that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Like, so I'm kind of glad they sort of toned that down. They severely toned that down in the series. And you also have her friends David and Frida, voiced by Amira Faison Ojo and Oliver Nelson, who voice Frida and David. And they are the best supporting characters in an animated show. Like they're they're both interesting, like tonal personality wise differences between Hilda, because you have Hilda, who's this very adventurous young girl who wants to explore the world and see everything as an adventure. You have David, who is nervous at all times, always has bugs on him, and yeah, adventures be the last thing David would want to do. In fact, he kind of gets like you really think about it in the scheme of things. David pretty much kind of gets brought along for the ride, and I mean, you can tell he enjoys it, but there's also that sense of you can tell he does not like. This is so not what he would want to be doing, and that's one of the reasons I love David. Because David's such a fun He's such a fun character. Just I love him. He's a great character. And you have Frida, who is like a very, very like organized person, and they never say it in the show, but like the way that Frida acts, I kind of feel like she might have OCD. Like they never say it, but there are things she does in the show that really make me think she either has OCD or like is really organized to the point where like anyway, like that's a different thing. But like the animation is well done, the writing is really really good. The emotions in this show are phenomenal. Like there's a particular scene at the end of chapter 9 that really caught me off guard, but I also really love it because of like there's a moment that happens in episode 9 that kind of that goes like continues mostly to the end of the season, sort of. They kind of do wrap it up a bit towards chapter 12. Like they kind of wrap it up, but they kind of don't. But anyway, like that's the thing of them. Like there's a lot of scenes in this show that are very well done emotionally. The music is great. I love the soundtrack of this series, and I cannot wait for season 2 and the 70-minute movie. Don't know when they're coming out. They're saying fall, but like I don't know, that could change. But with this being an animated series, you could still be able to, for the most part, you'd still be able to work on it from home due to the COVID. But that's another thing. But like, it's just a really well-made show. Like if you like Gravity Falls or you like fantasy animated series, this is probably going to be up your alley, because like the animation's solid, the writing's well done, the music's great, the everything about this show is the voice acting's great. Everything in the show just works, and I'm just like, I was pretty happy when I found out like half the two of the animation studios for the show are Canadian. I didn't know that when I first watched it. I was like, awesome, cool, represent Canadian animation, woohoo. Anyway, so this is the reviewer signing out.